welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down Monica McNuts joining Unc and Ocho to talk the viral exchange on First Take. Here we go.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Don't cry. Monica, we had a very healthy, that's the term I like to use, a healthy discussion this morning. You said, Shannon, I knew I was in trouble because you normally call me Unc. When you call me Shannon, I was like, oh, here we go. you said, Shannon, Stephen A., this deserves a more nuanced conversation. You know how television works. You got the top of the hour, you got the bottom of the hour, you got to get in and out, and you got a lot of people. I wanted to get, because we reached out to you earlier in the day, asking, could you come on? You said yes. So I want to give you an opportunity to, what you want to say, Ocho?
Before y'all go, being that y'all have a better knowledge of the game of basketball, whether it be NBA or WNBA, as someone on the outside looking in that was able to watch y'all this morning, I want to tell you that was peak elite sports journalism as far as conversation is concerned. There are going to be so many different opinions, whether wrong, whether right.
And if you guys are missing anything, what had happened was Monica McNutt actually was going back and forth with Stephen A. Smith, and that was trending all over Twitter the other day. So what was essentially happening was they were breaking down the Caitlin Clark, her getting shoved, her getting mistreated in the WNBA, and them two were just going back and forth, and I guess it was just a viral moment.
Monica, I didn't know you could cook. I didn't know you was a chef. Because, honey, you was cooking this morning. You hear me? You was cooking. Unc, you had your points, but the passion, the passion and authenticity, Monica, that you spoke with today, well, I'm talking about, man, bro, I was on the edge of my seat. Unc, you made your points, and then Monica, you and Stephen, they going back and forth, and I'm sitting on the edge of my seat like, man, what is going on? That was peak elite. I'm talking about elite television. So anytime there's any type of NBA topics, WNBA topics, if the execs at ESPN knew what they were doing, they need to make sure they had that same trio, and along with Molly, because that was great. That was fabulous. I'm just saying, like, I'm not.
Props to her. This might have just been a catalyst for her entire career. So she's probably gonna be on a shit ton of shows coming up now.
I'm not saying it because you on a goddamn show tonight.
Good for her.
That shit was fucking fabulous. That was MTV.
But the thing is that, Ocho, that when you do television, and Monica can attest to this, you never know what you're going to get because you have so many. You have sometimes 2, 3, maybe even 4 people, and it's an opinion-based show. Monica had her opinion. I had mine. Stephen A. had his. And so Monica says a topic like this deserves a more nuanced conversation. That we don't have to worry about getting into a break. So if Monica needs to talk 15 minutes straight, we can allow Monica to do that. Monica, the topic came up, basically, is Caitlin Clark, is the NBA, or some of the players in the WNBA have a personal vendetta? Are they envious? Are they jealous? Are they, if they're resentment, I think the term resentment showed his head up into the conversation.
I mean, if you think about it, I feel like a lot of people would have resentment for the newbie coming in and just taking all the shine from every single other athlete in the WNBA. She is the golden girl, as everybody's saying, calling her on ESPN. It's gotta be annoying, and it's gotta be like, yo, I'm gonna get the better of this girl just so I deserve to be here more than she does. But damn. I think they're personally resenting her, but no one else has really been saying that.
Conversation. So I want to turn the floor over to you. What point do you want to reiterate? What point didn't get an opportunity to make that you would like to make now? The floor is yours.
Well, so I'm gonna take y'all. 2 things happened to me. I actually went to the Liberty game on Friday, and this episode sort of speaks to the growth of the game. My fiance and I, we just take the train home because it's easiest. We're in New York, and there are a couple of white boys. One of them went to Auburn. His brother went to University of Missouri. His girlfriend was with them. Another young white man. And they're probably in their late 20s. One of them might have been in their early 20s. And it was a black woman that clearly just left the Liberty game that sat across from them. And they just spark up, y'all, this spontaneous conversation about women's basketball. And yes, it was about this particular play, and it was a little bit about the Sky and Angel, and it was Caitlin, and it was about the Liberty. And I'm looking at my fiance like, this is crazy. Like, we're just on a train, and folks that you might not think are watching the WNBA hop into this conversation, and they're both engaging. They started talking about Auburn and the Tuskegee, and I was peak ear hustling for the record, but they was loud, so it's But I say that to say, Ocho and Shannon.
Happy birthday, Marty. Oh, no, you don't. Let me get this.
Yo, not gonna lie, these two are funny as hell.
These two
are so funny.
2% cash back. The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card.
I'm a therapist who goes to therapy.
God damn.
Strange. The thing is, though,
Back
therapists
to back ads.
I get that we are at a special place when it comes to women's basketball and the growth of the game and all of the eyeballs. I think what I was frustrated by in our conversation earlier is that we can hold more than one truth, y'all. Like, the idea of some players being jealous, yes, that probably exists. But I think in Caitlin's debut, since she has made her debut, there's been a large and loud clamor or push. Yes,
not gonna lie, you gotta fix that.
Caitlin's
That's just irritating the hell out of me.
and that is unfair. To me, yeah, jealous, sure. I mean, would you be jealous of somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is before you step foot in the pros? Right?
Yeah.
I just need us all to do a better job of holding room for multiple truth. Jordan as a rookie, Joe, right? LeBron as a rookie, like Wemby as a rookie. When you look at guys that have gone on to be great, I'm sure they would not say their rookie years were cakewalks. Now, in the case of LeBron and if we use Wemby this year, they have physically dominant and powerful statures. And so maybe that has allowed them to skirt some of the curve. But Caitlin is a guard coming from college. She got to get her weight up. The W has to continue to allow her to be one of the leaders of this platform, as Angel Reese has also been, because I know that's going to be a hot topic tomorrow. And so my whole thing is just, it doesn't have to be either or. It can be both. But the prevailing idea that it's the W versus Caitlin and that these women don't understand the power of the eyeballs and the audience that she's helped grow the league to, that's just unfair. And that's what bothers me.
Go ahead, Ocho.
Listen, again, from the outside looking in, I have come to enjoy watching the WNBA now. As a new fan, I had the opportunity, Monica, to
hold up. Do you guys actually think Ojo's taking the time to sit down and watch a game? I personally have not watched any game ever since the NCAA tournament. That was the only time that it actually seemed interesting to me. I realistically don't think that many people are watching WNBA.
See the dream play the wings.
It's way too early. Maybe in a couple years, but definitely not now. Nobody's watching that shit now.
In Atlanta, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I have never been in an atmosphere like that. From the game to the enthusiasm with the crowd, the DJ, everything was jumping from first quarter to fourth quarter. The halftime show was phenomenal as well. So the engagement and the experience that I had at that WNBA game when the Dream played the Wings, that's what I'm expecting now. I have a chart with the misses where we're starting on the East Coast and we're working our way up to the West Coast. I'm going to another Dream game. Then I'm gonna make my way to Dallas. And from Dallas, I'm going to Chicago to see the Sky. From the Sky, then I'm going to LA to see the Sparks. And then we going to
somebody's got me forcing to watch
finish
games.
off in Vegas.
Okay.
Now I'm forcing, based on the experience I had in Atlanta and in that stadium, I'm hoping the rest of the atmospheres are like that too. Obviously, the game of basketball is good. I've come to learn all the players now. I have a bunch of jerseys that I bought for my road trip. I'm not sure how. I don't know them personally. I'm hoping they'll sign my jersey so I can put it up here in my man cave. And like I'm locked in now. I'm locked in. And
he's glazing.
Solidifying because obviously I'm a new fan. I'm new eyeballs to it, and I think after this year they will almost. I'm not saying they're going to be able to compete with the NBA. They will almost, from an exciting standpoint, what's going to happen next?
Okay, so let me ask you this. Because this will turn to Shannon for me this morning. I just want to mush him. I'm just giving you a hypothetical, Ocho. Come on now. Let me take you back to your playing days, right?
Okay.
Boom. This new corner. He bop. He all this. Big fat contract.
Yeah.
You about to square up with him, Ocho. What are you going to do with a squaring up from somebody who was supposed to be all this and all that for the future of the league?
Oh, he finna get his work, boy.
So,
hey, honey, he finna get his work. You hear me? He's finna get this work.
You ain't missed a beat when you said that, Ocho. So now, all of a sudden, some in the media have allowed this idea of roll out the yellow brick road, roll out the red carpet, because this is your cash cow. Why that idea has caught so much steam blows my mind. Okay, because we are still talking about competition, which is a beautiful thing that y'all both have made millions off of.
But let me ask you a question, Ocho, to Monica's point.
Yes, sir.
That hot shot corner, he's a top 5 pick. Let's just say for the sake of argument, he's standing there. You gonna roll up in the back of his legs?
Oh, I see. I see where you're going.
No, don't see what I'm saying. Just like you fired off at Monica, I need you to fire off. Would you roll up in the back of his legs?
Don't be trying to use my technique. Don't be trying to use my technique.
I don't take no cheap shots. You know that.
Okay.
See, that's
I'm gonna stay with Shannon's example because now you're back to Shannon because you get on my nerves. Now, Ocho, you're not going to do that. And tell me what % of the league you probably think would probably agree with you.
As far as not doing that?
Yeah, no, nothing dirty.
Oh, God.
Probably about 98%. There's a 2% chance there's some that really don't give two, you know what, and they'll do it.
Those people are not going to leave anyway.
In fact, my fiance laughs at me. He calls me a mathematician all the time. But let's just roll with me for a second. We got 11 games.
Yes.
We got 1 incident. I think that's a little less than 10% of the events so far in which this has happened to have a conversation. So I just want us to hear out that competing, because you have been deemed the next up, is a part of competition, man or woman, right? We all agree that Kennedy Carter had a bad look. We all agree that was a bad look for her. And I'm not making an excuse for that.
That's fact.
I think the thing is also, Monica, who did the look, given her track record, and who the look happened to. Ocho, I used the argument this morning. Trent Green got hit in the pocket in his knee, and they didn't change the rule. 11 years later, 8 years, 9 years later, Tom Brady got hit in the knee. What did they do to the rules about getting the quarterback below the waist, Ocho?
They changed the rule right away.
So I think Monica.
Well, you can't compare the GOAT to whoever the fuck this green guy is. I've never heard of his name. That's two different things. I get his point, but you can't compare those two.
Had it been someone else that doesn't have the track record of Miss Carter, and if it wasn't on the person who she did that to, I agree with you. I don't believe the outcry would have been what it was, but it was because of who it was.
And I'm going to actually add this. I think the fact that it wasn't called a flagrant on spot is probably what helped elevate this conversation. But so that. And we're talking about bad officiating across the NBA and WNBA for however long. Do you know what I mean? So literally, Shannon, we get the call this morning that we're going to lead the show with this. And I'm like, this is the most non-story story I think we've ever led a show with. Because to me, it's just not that big of a deal.
Hey, it made for great
That's
TV.
That's not what Twitter, that's not what was trending. That is it. And you know how deep, Monica, you've been in TV long enough. You know what leagues.
Yeah.
People like, man, y'all do is talk about the Cowboys. The Cowboys, people want to talk about the Cowboys.
Right.
People want to talk about Caitlin Clark. All of a sudden, to a larger percent want to talk about the WNBA, which is good. What is bad is that they're not talking about the WNBA in a positive when you're looking at it in this situation. Right. And I get what you're saying. You're like, it's a nuanced conversation, and two things can be true. People want to compete. This was an isolated incident. There's not a whole lot of incidents where people are clotheslining Caitlin Clark, tripping her, shoving her, and doing petty things of that nature. So let's look at this. This is what it was. This happened. But let me ask you a question.
Tell me.
Imagine at the end of the year. Imagine at the end of the year, there's a whole fucking highlight reel. There's a whole highlight reel for just getting an ass whooped.
You and I, we talked about it like, damn, we're our teammates. Y'all saw the girl get clocked in the back like that? Ocho, you know, in football, you do something to one I got, especially when I know we got this. Right. We got to get you back, Monica, but we got to make it look like it's a part of football.
Okay, right? And I think making it look like a part of the game is a huge thing. But I'm going to tell y'all a story.
Yeah, but
in college, we played Louisville, and we actually got the rule changed in women's college basketball because Louisville used to take a lap around the court, around the whole court. We were warming up on
in y'all home stadium, in y'all home arena?
They did it everywhere. They did it at Georgetown in McDonough Arena. We were on our side warming up. I'm not gonna name any of my teammates because I still love them dearly. Somebody tripped up somebody from Louisville, and a brawl ensued. right? We made it the Sports Center in a little dun-dun-dun. It was like, wah, wah, dun-dun-dun. Like, now, Monica is not a fighter. Do you know what I did in that moment?
You scrap.
No, I grabbed the basketball and said, y'all stop, we got a game. So, what I'm saying to you,
Ultimate.
is in your DNA is not, I'm a goon, I'm an enforcer, I'm finna scrap. That's not a switch that you can just turn over. If I was on the baseline and I was actually in the tussle, then I'd have had the flight or fight, right? But I was shooting a jump shot. I looked down, they were scrapping, and I was like, oh no, we can't do this, right? And so this idea that the personalities on the Fever squad all of a sudden turn into enforcer is unfair to who they are. They go pick their teammate off the ground, they grab her, they encourage her to calm down and take a deep breath. I don't think that this is, they must not love her. Like, I think we might be reading a little bit too deep in it. And y'all, they've won 2 games out of the 11 they played. They got some real things to worry about in terms of trying to win versus trying to fight.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question. Could it be a situation if they had a better winning record? It's like, man, y'all talking about this team, y'all talking about this person, and she's shooting 40%. They only won 2 games. Y'all talking about it like she's Stewie. Y'all talking about them like they the Connecticut Sun or the Aces or somebody. Come on now.
I'm surprised Shannon knows the name of
you guys, because
I don't even know.
Y'all keep talking about this and they ain't done anything. Do you hear that and get fed up? Like, hold on, bro. There are other people out there playing the game too now. Come on now.
I know that this is not journalism 101, Ocho, but I'm gonna flip it right back to you.
Yeah.
When you were competing at a high level, if somebody was appointed next up and their team was not, if the needle wasn't moving in the W column, and you felt like you were better then and it had earned more accolades and attention, then how was you gonna respond?
Yeah.
I'm trying. Anybody that had a name, I'm trying to embarrass them because I'm trying to elevate my name.
Yeah.
That's the way I went about it, Monica. Is that I wasn't gonna do it now. All I needed to know, and I told Ocho, and Ocho can attest to this. All I needed to know, are we playing snap the whistle or snap the after the whistle? I just know, I just need to get in the right frame of mind to how we gonna do it. Because if we being nasty, I just need to know at the start of the game, okay, we gonna be some nasty mofos for 4 quarters. I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, listen, even though the Fever have only won 2 games, we have to understand the Cowboys. They haven't won in 30-some years.
Yeah.
They move the needle. The Lakers, they haven't won.
2020
championship.
I'm not sure if we count, but there's an asterisk behind that. But again, the Lakers, they move the needle. The Yankees, they haven't won the World Series. I'm not sure in how long, but they move the needle. Caitlin Clark, she moves the needle. Angel Reese, she moves the needle. I mean, that just
because this
is your chance
to
buy 2 top of the line trimmers on the low. I was browsing
the makeup of it, and that's the way it will always be, and it's going to be like that for a long time. I wish people would get comfortable with that, and that's the way it's going to be. And you created a different demographic, a different set of eyes, and they're going to enjoy the game. And now I'm excited to watch the WNBA because I want to see what's going to happen next, because I have no idea. I have no clue.
So, Ocho, I love that. And this is where I continue to say more than one thing can be true. They have absolutely moved the needle. And I think Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese both are going to be all-stars and superstars in this league. They are both rookies, right? And so quite frankly, the idea that she would see less than true competition, again, obviously, we are excluding non-basketball and dirty plays. It's not only disrespectful to the rest of the league, but it's disrespectful to her. We talked to her 2 years ago in Dallas at the NCAA championship game, and you guys have probably all seen the features at this point. Grew up playing with her brothers, was the ultimate competitor. And so as a competitor, you don't want nobody square up across from you and take it lightly. You're trying to go prove yourself. And so for me, the fact that we've lost, that at the root of this thing, we are talking about competition and women competing at a high level, that is the part that bothers me the most. And then there's 28 years of this league being established, and in the last 5, the needle has moved. The charter thing has been in motion. You got to shout out Mark Davis, the Vegas owner, Joe and Clara Tsai, the Liberty owners, like people that have really helped to put the pressure on these women receiving professional level of treatment. Has Caitlin expedited the process? Yes. but there's also been a groundwork that has been laid. And so I just encourage all the new folks like you, Ocho, come on in and watch. Before
Come on.
grab your notebook, take some notes before you start bumping them gums. That's all I ask.
So let me ask, because when I look at Caitlin Clark and people look at her and they're like, well, what about all that trash talking she was doing in college? What about all the stuff that she was shoving people down in college? They saw that, and so now her talking trash in college might intimidate some folks. You come to the W, these are grown women. These women got kids. These women 25, they 28, they 30 years of age. They don't care. And like I said, Monica,
they want to get in a fist fight.
You got the name? If I tear you up on the court,
right,
they're gonna be talking about me.
But you know what? I think there's a learning curve as a rookie. My rookie year, I was talking trash in college. My rookie year in the NFL, well, Unc, I ain't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. I didn't even talk to the media until I got acclimated to the game. I understood the game, and the game started to slow down for me. So when year 2 came, and I started talking, once I figured it out, it was a wrap. I'm sure at some point, Angel Reese already talking. Sister, she letting it fly. As soon as Caitlin Clark gets acclimated to the game and it starts to slow down for her, and she picks it up, I guarantee she's gonna be back to her talking ways. I'm sure, based on what we saw at Iowa.
I think. Go ahead, Monica.
Ocho, you're spot on, right? But I think part of what has made this such a hot topic is that when a GOAT like Cheryl Swoops, who was a multi-time gold medalist, a 4-time WNBA champ, an umpteen-time WNBA All-Star, the woman to have the first woman to have a signature shoe for Nike, when she said there was a curve, it was she was hating. When Diana Taurasi said there's a curve at the women's Final Four, she was hating. And I think for the new fans, I get it. Y'all rolling with y'all girl, you protected, whatever. But that wasn't hate. That was people that have been here and watched this league. Those were truths, and that is okay. That's part of all of our journeys. You're going to hit a curve at some point.
Yeah.
Especially for a guard. See, people look at, I say, bro, y'all expecting her to be Candace Parker when she comes out as Rookie of the Year and MVP. Candace is 6'4". Caitlin Clark might be, 6 foot, Monica? So you're asking a guard to do something that is dominant big in college. Hey, Candace Parker was legit. She could rebound, got you double-digit rebounds. She was a 19-10. She was a defensive player of the year. She was tremendous, and I think everybody you look at Caitlin, she led the nation in scoring at about 32 points a game, led the nation in assists. So people automatically think, well, she's going to come in and do it in the NBA. Them women will not let that happen. No. You play harder against someone. It's just nature, because you know they can embarrass you. You're not finna embarrass me. You're not finna have me on SportsCenter, especially now. And I know ESPN really covering the WNBA. I'm not finna be your highlight package. It ain't gonna happen, Monica. I'm sorry. It's not.
When this conversation come back up and I'm not around, I just want you to keep that same energy, because that's all it is. And to me, that is beautiful. That is the point of competition, and it should be celebrated.
Yeah.
Angel Reese had some comments today. Take a listen to the sound. What Angel Reese had to say today.
I saw that. She's talking her shit.
It all started from the national championship game. I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that, because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want you to realize that. All of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
Yeah. Talk your trash. What you talk about, man? You watching the game because of me. And she ain't lying, because I'm one of them. What you talk about?
Thoughts on her comments, Monica?
I love it. And this is where we talk about you're not going to turn into somebody different overnight. Angel Reese has never shied away from the mic. She's willing to wear that villain label, however unfair it may be, but she gets it in the macro. And what I love about Angel, even when she announced she was going pro in Vogue, she speaks about the macro. And she does that deliberately. That is not just, oh, I'm gonna just throw in the women that have come before me, right? And I think that is important and what is endearing about watching her. But she's absolutely right. The girl, I'm sorry I don't know her name, but the girl streamed a Sky's preseason game on her phone, y'all, and had tens of thousands of viewers that were watching.
I think it was like 2 million. Wasn't it like over a million?
Who?
It got over a million. But you know what I mean? So there is a demand, and she absolutely has been a part of creating that demand. She's a huge part of this rookie class as well.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Well, we can't let Pat McAfee. I guess he watched us this morning. And Lord, he had some coffee. He probably had an energy drink. Do we have his sound? We can't play his sound. Whoo, Monica. Well, I know you heard. I know you've heard it by now. I think Pat got a little bit too amped. He forgot, like, man, this live. This, normally we have a conversation like this, Monica. You and your girls off air, but we got a microphone and we got a camera with a red dot going. So what did you think when you heard P-Mac start going?
So I didn't actually watch it, but I read the transcript and all the articles that came down. Honestly, y'all.
Old El Paso, where everyone can make it their own. Go on, get yourself some in Old El Paso.
Opera GX. If you haven't already heard about Opera GX at this point, it's basically a web browser that's specifically...
My first thought was, okay, here we go with this not being about race. Right? I'm a person who is white, right? And again, this is where I say, I'm speaking honestly, clearly, concisely. This is where I say multiple things can be true, right? I wonder what this would look like if Caitlin Clark was black. She's proud of who she is. That's fantastic, right? But this is where all the layers of this conversation come in.
Right.
The WNBA is a predominantly black women's league.
Okay.
It's also largely a queer league, right? And the gender, sexuality, race, it's hard to parse this out of that conversation, at least for me as a woman, because I can't walk away from any part of who I am, right? And so his point about other white chicks in the league that have been buckets, sure. Stewie's the MVP. KP has won multiple championships with the Las Vegas Aces. DT, obviously, we had a conversation about her as a GOAT, right? But to act as if there is no space to sit back and just wonder, again, all I'm asking for folks that have just joined is to open your mind. Ultimately, you may disagree, and that's fine, but you should be able to hold space to evaluate all the pieces that seem to be at play. Now, if you decide to pick up 3 instead of 6, that's on you, but you got to be able to sit back and acknowledge all the pieces at play, just out of respect for humanity at large, I would say.
Monica, you said something very interesting, and you would know better than I, but I was thinking this, but I never said it, but since you brought it up, let's go here. How much do you think predominantly black queer helps or hurt the WNBA?
That's a loaded question, Shannon. I think the W in the last few years has done a great job of leaning into who they are. They are not hiding who these women are, and these women are
honestly,
not hiding who they are. One thing about this rookie class has been their willingness to share their lives. But I had a chance to catch a great documentary this summer, courtesy of the WNBA PA, and I'm blanking on the name of the documentary, and I apologize, but it highlighted Jonquel Jones, Breanna Stewart, and Nneka Ogwumike, right? And as veterans in this league, JJ's been an MVP. Nneka Ogwumike has won a title and been an MVP. Stewie obviously has been a multi-time MVP and won championships. As veterans, they talked very honestly about opening up their lives, right? Because that was a big choice for them. And one of the commentators, Lindsey Gibbs, in that piece talked about being able to enjoy this league and celebrate these women even more when you get to know them, right? And I think that star power of this rookie class growing up with social media, Caitlin has 2 million, Angel has 3 million, right? They've already been used to sharing their lives.
Right.
And so I think the W has leaned in on who they are, but as new audiences are getting to know these women, hopefully they find a way to strike a chord with them beyond just being basketball players. And so candidly, I'm not 100% sure what happens in marketing meetings when you begin to look at who you want to partner up with the WNBA. Because like we started this conversation, gender, race, and sexuality are parts of conversations that you just cannot escape.
Okay. The documentary you're talking about is called Shattered Glass.
There it is.
NBA PA story.
Thank you.
I'm glad you have this conversation because at the end of the day, you like people like, well, go market. But at certain times, certain demographics you're trying to market to. Because like when we go out, okay, we have to pitch. Okay, who are you trying to reach? We Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, we might not be able to reach who an advertiser or a sponsor try to reach. So it doesn't make sense for them to give us money if the people that they're trying to reach are not watching Nightcap, not watching Club Shay Shay.
Right.
And so what you're saying, Monica, is like, okay, we got to appeal to the people that you're trying to reach. But to say that gay and queer people don't buy health and don't buy auto insurance is just not true. To say they don't go grocery shopping or buy cars is just not true. So they are people. They might have chosen an alternative life that's outside of the norm, whatever norm is. There's a new definition of norm now. But I believe that you can reach people because everybody that watches television, they're a consumer. You buy something, whether it's food, whether it's auto insurance, whether it's whatever the clothing, whatever the case may be, you'll purchase something.
And when it comes to marketing and branding and WNBA and those that are queer or part of that community in general, that community always sticks together and support each other. So the marketing on that end should be easy anyway. It's common sense, especially when it comes to the higher ups and the execs that are sitting in positions of power. That's a no-brainer as far as when it comes to marketing and branding and doing it that way. Now, if they want some ideas, from the true #1 marketer and brander himself, I can guide them in which way to go and know how to do it. Like that's what I did.
You might need to get to some boardroom tables, Ocho.
Monica, let me ask you this. Because, a lot of times black, we used to have like, who was in that room? Why are you trying to, market the blacks and there's no blacks in the commercial? Would it help if there were queer, gay in the rooms that could say, hey guys, they have purchasing power. I don't know. I'm in California. Man, they shut down We Hope. Gay pride is a big thing there. So somebody drinking beers, buying cocktails, and buying clothes, Monica. I'm just saying, somebody doing that.
Yeah, and listen, the marketing has improved, right? But if we wanted to get into the weeds, and gosh, oh man, I should have pulled up all my research because there was a wonderful article done, I want to say about 2 seasons ago, that looked at what demographic still, in terms of representing the WNBA, still got the lion's share of marketing opportunities. And it was largely straight white women. Now, in 2 years, I do believe that there have been improvements made in that area, right? And like I said, the WNBA has leaned into who they are. These women are leaning into who they are. There's a number of queer athletes out of W that I can think of that have had commercials and are currently in commercials that are still airing. And it's beautiful to see. And so I do think that things are changing. But just like in society, y'all, as painful as it is, right, when we start having conversations about this societal totem pole, people, especially women that sit at identities, shout out to Dr. Alfie, my girl, that have intersectional identities, often don't have privilege. And so they're minimalized a little bit. Or not a little bit, they become minimalized. And so that, again, that's a whole nother loaded conversation. And I'm not trying to tell anybody that they can't be a fan of this player or that player. But as you join this WNBA fanfare, welcome. It's room for everybody. There have been 28 years of groundwork, and there have been numbers of opportunities of research, right? Like, and then when you look at the demographics of this league, like, just keep your mind open to what is the reality of someone else's experience that may not look like you. That's the part that's frustrating to me in this conversation, y'all. Like, one, to hear ex-athletes say, oh, just let her do whatever. And two, folks that aren't taking the time to just do a little bit of digging about what the WNBA has been, how powerful these women have used their voices, what they stand for, because it's beautiful.
It is. And thank you for opening up and sharing that with us. I mean, you being around the game, you playing the game, you being a woman yourself, you're better to speak to this in Ocho than I, because you're in that situation. There's no better person to speak to about a woman than a woman. And so sometimes, as men, we try to sit back and I don't know what it's like to have a baby. Never had one. I don't want them kind of problem. So I like women when women talk about women issues. Yeah, I can have an opinion, but I'm just speaking at it from a man's point of view. And sometimes we only see things through the prism in which we are. You know, if I'm looking from a mountaintop, I don't know what it's like in the valley because I'm on top of the mountain looking out. You being a woman playing basketball, playing in the WNBA, who better to speak to issues like this than a person like yourself? But how often, when things like this, do the WNBA, the PA, do they have you speak to the women that's coming into how many times do you go out and speak to women's group, being who you are, being the platform that you do have? Are you given those opportunities to speak up for women?
So I was gonna let you rock with this, but I gotta check you one thing on my resume. I decided that I was done after college and wasn't about to dabble in the W.
You did?
So I did not play in the W, but I'm gonna have to get with the Chad Ochocinco agency to get me some more speaking engagements.
Whatever you need. Listen. I have a marketing firm, a branding firm. So anything you need, just holler at me. I can get the ball rolling. I got you.
Yeah, all jokes aside, I have had the opportunity to speak not just to women's teams, but like last year I had a chance to rap with the Los Angeles Rams, right? And just offering a different perspective as a member of the media. I do know that our friends and colleagues, China Robertson and Nneka Ogwumike, led a great media preparation session for the rookies coming in this season. And so the W and the PA are about giving their players resources, as are the NBA, right? And so the league is just continuing to grow. And when you talk about its male counterpart, it has a 50-year head start.
Right. Monica, I think the thing is a lot of times, and people's like, well, I think the thing what really got it trending at the end is that you said, Stephen A., you had this platform and you're doing it now, but you probably should have done this a lot sooner. Me, I'm going to address that, but I have Club Shay Shay. And people are like, well, why did you have more women? I've reached out to women that play or played in the WNBA, and I get no returns. I've had one lady, she's not a professional basketball player. 2 days before, she's like, I'm gonna have to reschedule, and now my team can't get a hold of her. So I tried to give women, because I got a nice size platform. So I want to give you an opportunity to share, tell whatever story that you want to tell. You want to talk about your upbringing, you want to talk about your life as a professional athlete, you as an entertainer or a celeb, have at it.